Hi everybody, Chef Mike. Today we're going to make shrimp tacos with a cilantro lime rice, Pico De Gallo. The shrimp tacos have a Jicama Slaw on top, and then we're going to make a banana foster for dessert. So, to get started today, we have our pot here. We're going to crank it on. I have 2 cups of water measured out. We're going to put that in here. We're going to stand here and watch the water boil. Not really. While that's going, we're going to start making our Jicama Slaw. So right here, I have some jicama already cut up. I julienned it. But right here, I want to show everybody. This is what a jicama looks like. It's kind of like a rutabaga. You peel it, and then you just take the skin off of it, and then you could cut it however you want it. So I'm going to take this sliced jicama, throw it in the bowl. I have some carrots. I'm going to throw my carrots in here. And also, we have purple cabbage. This is a whole head of it. I already have it washed. I'm going to cut this in half. I'm going to shade this. If you have a mandolin, it's great to do that on there too, but I'm just going to quarter this, slice it really thin. It's great for color. So we'll throw our red cabbage in with jicama and carrots. And then we're going to take a lime, and to do limes, to really get the juice out good, I like to roll them on a cutting board. You could also put them in an oven. Kind of helps release the juice. I'm going to give this a squeeze. So this is like the dressing for it. I'm going to take a little bit of zest from it too. The zest adds great flavor. So we have sugar that we're going to put in here for the dressing. Chopped cilantro. A little bit of pepper and salt, and a little bit of rice wine vinegar. And as I put this in, the water is starting to come to a boil. So I'm going to throw my cup of rice in here. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Give the pot a stir, give the rice a stir. And let that kind of do its thing. And it'll probably take about 15 minutes to cook. So now that I have everything in here, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil too to the slaw dressing. And give it a good stir. And it's honestly best to do this probably the day before, let it sit overnight so the flavors marry a little bit, get a little more flavorful. Give that a good stir. I'm going to put this aside for right now until we're ready to do more with it. Wipe off my cutting board. And then we are going to start on the Pico De Gallo. Pico De Gallo is really simple. Usually just consists of tomatoes. I'm going to use Roma tomatoes. I am going to cut the end off. I'm going to cut it in half. I like to take the seeds out of them. So I'm going to kind of just scoop them out a little bit, give them a squeeze, get that extra juice out. I'm going to do one more tomato. Squeeze. And then I'm going to get another bowl here, and I'm going to dice these really fine. So I'm going to cut it in half. Go one more time. And then I'm going to give it a dice. Hoping not to chop my finger off, because that would never be good. Throw that in the bowl. I'm going to chop. I'm going to do for this, you could add several kinds of peppers. I'm going to put in serrano peppers. If you like it hotter, you could do jalapeno, or you could even do habanero, but I know that's really spicy. It just depends on your preference. Alright, so I'm going to throw that in there. And for pico, I have my serrano peppers right here. These are pretty mild. Take the top off. I'm going to cut them in half. I'm going to pull the seeds out. Another great tip to making peppers more flavorful is roast them on the grill. You get them all charred and toasty, and then you peel off all the black goodness, and then chop them up, and it adds really good roasted flavor to salsas or whatever you may be doing. So I'm going to take half of this serrano, and I'm going to chop it really small. So I got that right here. Make sure my rice is still cooking while that's going, and it's going. You never really want to stir rice either. Kind of a tip for that, it makes it sticky a lot of times if you do that. One thing I didn't put on the rice that I meant to was a little dollop of butter, give it a little more flavor. So in this bowl for my Pico De Gallo, I have diced tomatoes and my serrano pepper. I got a red onion over here. Give a little bit of that flavor, color. Cut my onion in half. And to get really small dices on this, little trick, you take the root end, you put it away from you, you slice into it as thin as you can. Keep your fingers rolled back so you don't cut yourself. And then you got to go in the middle of it, kind of keep your hand flat, give it a slice, and then go back through the other way. You get a real fine dice. Throw that in our pico. And then I'm going to take another lime and I'm going to roll it again. I'll get the juices flowing in there. Loosen them up. Take the zest. I'm going to zest one lemon. Then I'm going to cut the lime, in half. Give it a squeeze. Hold it so I don't get seeds in there. Another half. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of salt, pinch of pepper, about a teaspoon of cilantro. Check on my rice, it's going good. I'm going to turn it down a little bit, it's boiling pretty hard. And a splash of olive oil. And then I'm going to give this a stir and let this sit. Again, Pico 2, like the Jicama Slaw, I like doing this the day before. Lets flavors marry, get more delicious. Holding your fridge for a good 3 days, so gets better too. With the flavor gets better over time. So I'll put this aside for right now. And next, we are going to work on the shrimp. Wipe up my mess a little bit. And I've got some shrimp over here. I chose 2125s, peeled and deveined. Obviously you don't want the tail in there. Can't really chew on those or eat them, so took that off. And this shrimp, we're gonna marinate it. And for the marinade, we have a little bit of honey. We're gonna do about a teaspoon of honey. I'm gonna throw that right in there. Honey is a great natural sweetener. A little bit of nutmeg, a pinch of nutmeg. About a quarter teaspoon of sugar and half a teaspoon of chili powder, as well as salt and pepper. And as well as a little bit of oil. So for this marinade, it's best to let the shrimp sit for about half an hour to an hour before. You don't really want to do it too long, because once you add honey, I feel like to seafood sometimes it kind of turns, if you let it sit too long, it gets kind of spongy and the texture's a little bit off. So I'm going to put that here, and I do already have some shrimp marinated for about an hour right now. So I'm going to crank this burner on. Get that hot, not too hot. Probably about medium heat. Check on my rice, see how it's doing. It's coming along. Now the flame went off, I'll turn that back on. Alright, so I got my burner going for the shrimp. Put a little bit of oil in there. I like to tell once the pan's hot by if it's a good temp for smoking. If it starts to smoke, that usually means it's ready to go. So we're going to let that get hot. Right here I have tortillas. We're going to end up putting the shrimp in tortillas, obviously for shrimp tacos. Put those aside for right now. And as the pan starts to get hot, I'm going to take the shrimps and I'm going to drop them in slowly. When you're frying food or searing stuff in hot oil, always make sure you put it away from you, not towards you, so you don't splash oil on yourself and burn yourself. Hear a sizzle, that's a good thing. That means the pan's hot enough. Gotta be careful, you don't want to overload your pan. If you overload your pans when you're cooking, you won't get a good sear, which in return you won't get as good of a flavor. So that's cranking. Rice is getting close. So they're probably going to cook for about 1 to 2 minutes on each side. Won't take very long to cook the shrimp. So the shrimp tacos, these are pretty mild. If you want to kick them up a notch, you could always add sriracha to them, jalapeno peppers, lots of variations you could do. Ancho chili powder, chili peppers, another good way to do them. I like grilling them too. So they're getting brown. Gonna give them a flip. Turn the heat down a little bit. And while that's finishing up, I'm going to check the rice here one more time. And we are doing cilantro lime rice. So I just had the 2 cups of water, 1 cup of rice. As it's finishing up right now, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of cilantro. I'm going to do lime. I'm going to roll that like all the other ones. I'm going to put the zest in here. I'm going to turn these shrimps off, and I'm going to pull them out because they look done. And I'm going to put them in this bowl and kind of let them just rest for a minute while we finish up the rest of our shrimp tacos here. Alright, so those are resting. Cut my lime in half. Give it a squeeze. Give one more squeeze. Give it a stir. And the rice looks to be done. So I'm gonna turn that down, get rid of some of my dirty stuff here. And then we're gonna assemble our shrimp tacos. I do want to I personally like my tortillas warm, a little bit crispy. It's better than a cold tortilla shell, so I'm going to throw it in a pan for a minute to kind of heat it up a little bit. While that's going, I'm going to take my rice, I'm going to put it on the plate. Put it in one corner. That tortilla is heated up. We'll throw on the other one. Just take the chill off of there. And then I have my shrimps here. I'm going to put 4 shrimpies in one shell. I have my Jicama Slaw over here. I'm going to put that on top. Put 1 taco here. I'm going to do 1 more, same way. 4 shrimps, a little slaw. Fold that up. And I'm going to put a pico and chips kind of on the side. And we have 2 loaded shrimp tacos with the cilantro lime rice, Pico De Gallo, and corn tortilla chips. And we will be selling this tomorrow too in our cafe from 11 to 1:30. If you want to come by and try it for $10. We're also going to be serving mango salsa with it too for that one, and regular salsa, and you can get all these fixings with it down there if you want to try it. So, and then for dessert, we are going to make, after you're filled up on that, we have a banana foster. So bananas foster is really simple. It's a nice flamboy dessert. I'm going to take some butter, melt it in the pan. Make sure my pan's not too hot because this will burn. While that butter is melting, I'm going to peel my bananas. Going to add brown sugar. Gotta turn it. Oh, my butter's starting to brown a little bit. You don't want it to brown too much. You are pretty much making a caramel though when you're doing this. You kind of give it a stir. I'm going to add my dark Meyer rum to it. There it goes. You don't have to worry about the fire, just the liquor cooking off. Throw my bananas in there. A little bit of cinnamon, a little vanilla. And I'm doing crushed walnuts. You could add pecans if you like. Really do it anyway. And I'll cook this for about 1 minute. Just till the bananas kind of soften up a little bit. And over here, I have pre-scooped vanilla ice cream. It's probably the best way to serve bananas foster. Nice hot melted caramel and bananas over ice cream. Delicious. So that's it. Bananas foster is really simple, great summertime dessert. Pour all that goodness over there. And that's it. That's a banana foster. And thank you, everybody. And we look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. Have a great day.